So, I mean, you can always learn steps, but your dancing is really dancing. It's not your steps. You learn the steps, but how do you put yourself into that? So if you don't develop your own personality or you don't develop yourself, you're gonna get lost also in the middle of your dancing.
Hello, welcome back to the Dance Reel. This is part 2 of our interview with Lina from Studio Dance by Lina and Dance by Lina dancewear. If you haven't listened to the first part already, go back and listen to that and then come back to this one. This half of the episode, we will go deeper into training at Vaganova, studying her own dance school, and building a dancewear brand. Lina also covers the transition into Zoom classes during the pandemic and the difficulties that come with that. I hope you enjoy part 2. I must say that the advice she gives towards the end of the podcast left me all in the feels. It's something that I needed to hear, and I'm sure will need to replay to myself in the future. And it may very well be something that resonates with where you are as a dancer right now too. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure to check out Lina's socials and Brad website, which are linked in the description below. And also feel free to follow us on Instagram and all of the socials that are also linked below. And do let me know if you enjoy this episode. Thank you so much. Yeah, I find when you can bring yourself into dancing and connect with it more, it's also more enjoyable for you to dance, and then also it's more enjoyable for people to watch because they can see the authenticity and they can see that you're really connecting with the work. And yeah, sometimes someone who can really connect with that emotion and their personality and their performance can be like almost more entertaining to watch than someone who is like technically perfect,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have anything against technically great people. I
Yeah.
mean, I've seen really, really amazing dancers, but sometimes you feel as though there are some who lack the ability to connect. Maybe it wasn't their day, or, there's just a lot of things maybe that go into it. But there are people who are really special and know how to just capture someone, in an instant. Like, yeah, there are a lot of dancers like that now also.
Yeah, totally. So how did you go about starting your own dance studio?
Hmm. That's really interesting.
Story?
Okay. I started the brand first. Yes, that was about 5 years ago because we just turned 5 this October. So,
Oh, happy
yes,
birthday.
thank you. So, 5 years ago, I did start the brand, and I only started the school in 2018. So, it's
Okay.
2020 now. So, it's, I guess, about 2 years, going on
Yeah.
3 if we
Yeah.
survive this pandemic,
I
maybe.
know.
but but yes, so it's been about this much and this long. It is the studio I started because maybe I had a few students who just at first wanted to take one-on-one classes.
Mm.
And to be honest, I was only giving private classes at first. So I was only giving like really small classes, privates, individuals. So I really wanted to develop a dancer or develop dancers, or maybe see how I could really grow some nothing into something. You know how it is as
Yeah.
teachers.
Yeah.
So yeah, at first that was it, and I didn't really have much of the guts maybe to put on into a school, but eventually, as things did take off, I got offered the space and I decided, okay, maybe I should. So tried it out for the first month, and then it worked out, had a lot of more students, and then eventually now, I mean, we're school, so it is different, but I really do enjoy it. I didn't think that I would put up my own school because I was really enjoying having the brand and then dancing, but I do feel
Mm.
like in the end it does make sense that I do have my own space and the school, and I get to teach and learn, and it's really, really great.
Yeah, that's awesome. And do you want to tell us a little bit more about your brand and how that started? Because that's quite an interesting story.
Yeah, it's actually just because I love sewing. I mean, I used to sew everything for my I mean, like not everything, but my company, the company members or the dancers would ask me if I could sew them skirts, which kind of led into me sewing them their ballet skirts. So I was only doing ballet skirts back then, and I'd make my own leotards from time to time, but not much. But during that time, we didn't really have much option. Again, I told you, I think this, we didn't have what we have now, and the internet was different. My only
Mm.
access to dancewear was the only two dance stores here in the Philippines,
Oh,
and
wow.
probably the dance store in Japan, which was Shakot, and a few more, but it wasn't as much as as it is now, because right now it is so
You have
much
everything at your
dancewear. Yeah,
fingertips.
you have
Yeah.
everything. You have a dancewear for warmers, you have dancewear for this, and Leos, and
Yeah.
it's just so much dancewear. But I got into sewing because it's another family story, but my grandma was actually a kimono maker. I'm not sure I told you this, but
Oh, no,
she
you
was
didn't.
yeah, she was a kimono maker in like the time of the war and all, and
Oh my
she
goodness.
used to actually make the thread for the kimono also, like with the silkworms and stuff. So she would tell me about this, and my mom would tell me about this, and they used to make all my baby clothes. So now they passed it on to me, the old sewing machine that's like 20 something year old sewing machine. It's
Oh,
almost,
wow.
yeah, it's really an old sewing machine from brother. And they passed it on to me, and I used to sew with that. Now, of course, I had my own. And then I sewed myself. So after leaving again the company, I just kind of got back into it as a hobby, eventually turning into tons of orders. And then that's when it kind of took off. So it was really just a small project at first. I was thinking it's just extra way to make income. And
Yeah,
then, yeah, and then eventually,
grew
suddenly,
organically.
yeah, yeah. So stores started to ask if they could, have it in their store. And then now it's just a yearly thing. And I mean, like, it's amazing because I didn't expect it to be like this. So after getting that first order from a dance store in Taiwan, so I started with them, and they still order with us now about 3, 4 times a year. It's a really, really amazing partnership, but I could not be any more grateful that I have this much right now. It was really just supposed to be a hobby.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, it's grown right now. Again, I think I told you, but we're shifting into sustainable. So we really want to make all the dancewear or all the items in our dancewear shop sustainable. So about 80 or 85%, maybe you can say, is sustainable. So we only use refurbished fabrics. So we don't use fabrics that just purchase from, like the
Just
source.
the
We,
fabric
yeah,
store.
so
Mm.
we get like remnants from old factories or just things that they're about to throw away. You know how the
Mm.
fashion industry is really like the number two, I think,
It's so
pollutant in the
wasteful, yeah.
world.
I
And
think
yeah, we can be a bit more conscious about the way we purchase dancewear also, especially since we love our leotards and we also love our, our dancewear. I just want to make something that lasts. And I think being
yeah,
sustainable also means that I'm not really wasting as much fabric. And even the thread right now, we source from factories that discard their thread. So I never knew that. Apparently, I'm
yeah,
not sure if I'm
neither.
supposed to disclose this, but I didn't know that factories can't use threads that already have been used. So
Oh,
meaning, let's say that they weren't able to use the full spool of thread, so they just throw it away and they just put in a
oh
new
no.
one. And I'm really surprised that they do that, because it's
Yeah,
just such a waste of thread. And I just decided I'll just purchase all this thread and use it for something. So that's what I
yeah,
use, because it is good quality, and I just get surprised how much waste we put into the world and all. And I think
yeah.
people are being a lot more conscious about the way they live. So it was important for me to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool to see this shift.
Hmm.
Yeah, people being more aware and conscious about the environment and the way that I guess, our consumer behaviors can impact on that. But yeah, it's crazy that so much good material that can be used is just thrown away. So yeah, that's nice that you guys are helping to divert some of that from landfill and also making these really awesome, beautiful, high quality products.
Yeah, it's really a challenge also, because you know how I told you, I think like everything is just limited because I can't
Yeah.
exactly get the same fabric twice. And I just have to tell everyone, well, this is what I found today in the factory and this is what I used. So this is what's going to be out. But I do like the fact that maybe I could say it's limited and it's just special for them. So if they do get to purchase it, it is something that is just for them. It really is made for them. And I think that's the way fashion maybe could be. I mean, we're so obsessed with getting this thing and getting the same of everything, and
Being on trend.
I just don't see the point anymore of having so much things everywhere, and how much fabric and how much material is wasted in stores also.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a favorite item by any chance? Or a favorite item that you like to sew?
In the store.
Yeah.
I do love so much the romantic tattoos because it's a bestseller again. But the way that everyone's been wearing it, it's really fun lately. I don't know if you know Natasha Meyer from Vienna State, but she models some of her dancewear. She wore it on her shoulders, and now it's like a whole trend where they everyone just wears their tutu skirts by their shoulders. It's so, I don't know, it's so vintage where I don't know, it's amazing. So she's been taking photos like that, and I just feel like I'm gonna eventually name this romantic tutu after her because everyone's just talking about it. But that is probably my favorite item on the shop. And other than that, I probably love the leotards. Yeah, people don't really realize yet, but the leotards that we have, the fabric is really special. And it's
Oh,
my go-to. Yeah, I've not felt this attached to a leotard in so long, and it's like my own, so it feels so much more fulfilling and also more sentimental and value maybe.
I feel like everyone has their favorite leotard. I know that I still have mine, even though it has like a hole in it and needs to be repaired. There's definitely that attachment to it, and it's the comfiest one, and so I
Yeah,
know what
I
you mean.
know. I know what you're saying. Yeah, I do have one Leo, I know, like just like you, where it has a hole, but I've sewn it so many times just because I love it so much. And it's like, oh, it's okay, it's gonna survive, it's fine.
So then the hole always just reopens, but
Yes,
that's okay.
I agree, I
Yeah.
agree.
So you've gone and taken a few workshops or gone over to Vaganova, and I know that you were going to go to the Paris Opera this year, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah.
do you want to tell us more about that?
Yeah, so getting into teaching really brought me into becoming this person. I remember being asked that also. So the reason why I chose Vaganova so first is because, well, my company was Vaganova trained. So we did get
Mm.
a Vaganova teacher from the academy, and I trained with her. So she was Tatiana Udalankova, and she still teaches there. I met her back when I finally went to the academy. It was like a reunion. I remember saying hi to
Oh,
her, and it was amazing. And I remember telling her, I mean, I couldn't speak much Russian back then, but it was it was really an amazing thing for me to just see her, and she didn't know who I was. So it was so funny because at first she didn't really recognize me, and it was really funny because I really wanted a photo with her. So I go, can I have a photo with you? And she was like in Russian, she would say, hurry up. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm embarrassing myself, but I'm going to get a photo with her. And the next day, I came back the next day, of course, because we had class. And so I had the translator help me. And I said, can you please help me translate this for my teacher? Because she was my teacher back in the Philippines. And I just want her to know that I really came here because of her. So I had like flowers prepared for her, and I had like chocolates for her just so that she could remember me. And I showed her an old photo of us, and I said, this is me." And she was
Oh,
like, "Huge, like Lina, it's you." So yeah, so I was really happy that she still kind of remembered me in a way, even if she was, I mean, she was probably 80 something years old already. So it was amazing for me. It was just like a whole other world. And going into the academy also was just so surreal for me. I remember the first day thinking, what was I even thinking applying for this? Because I had zero Russian knowledge, probably. I probably studied a little, but didn't really take it so seriously. Didn't really
yeah.
think I'd end up in Russia.
Yeah.
So, yeah, after I got the email saying that I'd been, accepted into that program, I was just surprised, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, really? Okay, time to get ready.
Uh-oh.
My flight got delayed. I mean, I booked it 3 days early, so it was fine. But the moment I arrived there was the day before, and I was so nervous and excited, and I didn't know what to do anymore. And I even got lost because I mean, like, no one apparently speaks much English there, so I was really shocked. And Google Translate was my friend. And even going in the academy, it was really funny because the guy just kept on asking me what my name was, and I didn't even know what he was saying. It was
Oh
so
no.
funny. And I only realized it after, oh my goodness, Lina, he was asking you what is your name. My goodness. So I couldn't even say that. So it was really like that level of Russian, and it was an amazing experience. I mean, everyone probably grew up watching the videos of the academy. Even on YouTube, you'd see snippets of it. And a lot of dancers dream of walking into the academy and just seeing it. And for me, it was surreal, definitely. I remember I was walking up the steps knowing that it was going to be that room, the famous rehearsal room with Vaganova's photo. And I only got to see that on the third day. But even walking up the steps, I was kind of tearing up already and
Yeah.
thinking, oh my goodness, like this is really happening. I'm really here. And even now, thinking of it, I want to tear up. So I'm just a really sentimental, maybe person. But yeah, it was really amazing, like even being in the room, the ambiance, and the dancers. I think something you learn from the academy is just the energy is so different, maybe because everyone there is just into ballet, and all of a sudden it's like I'm you feel like you're home. It's like, oh my goodness, everyone is a ballet nerd. It's so surreal. It was surreal. So I was supposed to go this year again. I got the invitation for March, but the pandemic happened, so I couldn't push through. So it was supposed to be March to May, but yeah, it's going to be moved to next year. Let's see if I can still.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
I'm not
hopefully.
really sure if I
Yeah.
can leave the country, but I am hoping I can. So
Yeah.
they did send an email for that, and I am hoping again that I can attend this. But fingers crossed and toes crossed. But it really is different. I love the tradition, and I think people do have a different idea of Vaganova as the way I learned it, because I see it as really a very heartwarming environment. It's harsh. It's
Yeah.
harsh, but it's also I know why they do it, and you realize why they do it. Yeah.
You see the
Mhm.
results that they get and
Yeah, and the tradition is something that's really unique. So the way that it's passed down, I wouldn't say it's purely Vaganova right now. I mean, the way that Vaganova taught it. But if everyone knows Vaganova, I mean, like if you do read her books, she does emphasize so much how she wanted things to be moving and changing, like how we had to adapt to times. And I think that's what the academy is also trying to do, but also trying to keep. But there are different things that maybe they debate on. So different teachers, different styles, but it is nice to watch that still. I love that it is a very educational maybe environment, like it's a school environment. So it is nice. So you see people learning from each other also.
Cool, because yeah, you can learn not only from the teacher but from the people that you're with too. Yeah, I've always learned so much from my peers and my like fellow dance students.
It's like, I don't know, it's a really different environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, the food also, I'd say again, I think I told you this, but we call it the Vaganova lifestyle and not really the Vaganova tradition, because it really is a lifestyle to live in this school, to breathe that air and to just, live there. It is a different environment. They have libraries, they have their studios, they have pianos. I mean, like, it's not just ballet. You
Ballet.
just see art
Yeah.
everywhere. They have their dorms, their food. It's different for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you asked about the Paris Opera, right?
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, so someone asked me, I think about last year, why only Vaganova?
Yeah.
And of course, I immediately thought, yeah, why? Why? Of course, I should question that myself. I'm a teacher, I should. So I wanted to really learn about the where it started. We all know it started from, Paris Opera. It's there, the tradition is there. And we know that Vaganova got its method also from Paris and inspired by Italian traditions. So I wanted to really learn. When I found out that they had a teacher program, I immediately applied for it if I was eligible for it. So I sent in my resume and I sent in like everything that I needed. I was supposed to go. So again, they sent me an email saying they don't know because of the
Oh,
coronavirus, but it was
yeah.
supposed to be. I was still praying that there would be a vaccine. Maybe I was still hopeful around May, thinking, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, I can go in July. And then eventually June comes and you're thinking, oh no, this
I
is not going to
know.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially being
So July comes, no news. So, everything's on lockdown. I can't really go. So
what were the original dates?
I think it was supposed to be on July, the whole 3 4 weeks. I think it was pretty
Oh,
long.
okay. Yeah.
It would have been really great because it was a course to really watch all the grades. They also had, I think, like the method and of course the certification classes, participation. It was a really full on kind of course. So I was really excited to work with the teacher who was there. And yeah, because they only offer a few people to get into this. So I was
Oh,
pretty, I was
yeah.
really like just
Congratulations
psyched to
though.
be. But I feel bad that it didn't happen. But let's see for next year. Let's hope.
Yes, yeah. I hope they can
Yeah.
happen eventually.
Yeah, I really want to learn it because I think just like Vaganova or Paris Opera, these two schools kind of are very rooted in tradition,
Mm.
unlike what I see with what's happening with RAD. I feel because the courses they offer, I notice you can learn online even, or you can learn. Yeah, you can take RAD courses online. I did not know this until my friend mentioned this,
Oh,
but
yeah. Is that
I
just
just
watching a video back? It wasn't like a
mhm,
live Zoom teaching or anything?
I'm not sure actually.
Yeah,
So I think
that's
she's taking the
interesting.
degree right now, but I not sure if I want to do that. Seeing that I already have my, certification and also all these, things with Vaganova, and then I'd switch into RAD would also be kind of strange. So yeah, I really love tradition. I think, my kids know this. I love tradition, and I think
Yeah,
that's why I love ballet.
yeah.
So if I want to get into the method, or if I want to get into being a good teacher, I want to see what those teachers are doing or maybe just learn from them. I just want to get
Mm,
into the source of it. I think being in the Paris Opera itself might be also another surreal thing for myself. Yeah, so it's it's another school based on that kind of tradition, kind of like Vaganova developed also its own. I feel like Paris Opera did do something of the sort in its own way. So we also read about Paris opera a lot and through
Yeah.
history, and just it's always in the books. So it's something that I really wanted to experience for myself. I mean, I can't really share that to my kids if I don't know it. It's such a
Yeah.
shame, like, to be a teacher and not have been able to say that, even like, oh yeah, I've been to the, like, I could tell them about the environment and be able to share firsthand my experience about how different it is and how we can learn from that, even. So yeah, that's something I really want to give to my kids a lot. So
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's so special, I think. And it will probably be the same again when you eventually get there, because
oh,
hopefully it
I
will
hope
happen. But
so.
I'm sure it will feel like coming home as well, just like you said you had with Vaganova.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I have a ballet heart, or maybe I was, I don't know. I was around dancers in the past life or something. But I always feel like whenever I am in a studio or whenever I am in a theater, I just feel this rush, and I just know that I really love this. Like,
Yeah,
it's
you
really
belong
something
there.
I love. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of the pandemic, what has it been like
Mhm.
teaching Zoom classes, or how have you found it?
It's like I said, I do record myself a lot. It was
Mm,
really hard in the start. I definitely struggled a lot. So, I mean, audio, video, you're not used to this kind of way of teaching. You
yeah.
don't know how like, I mean, like, I had a hard time like setting up my audio just now with you, but it's really different. I mean, I'm used to working with my kids first one on one, so it's really really difficult for sure. Yeah, but in the start I had a hard time with the kids, not really the big kids but the little kids, because I teach
Yeah.
small kids. And I'm not sure about your situation, but in our situation, we're still in lockdown since March, so the kids can only do online classes. Like, they
Okay.
have not, like, some of them have not seen the light of day.
Oh
It's
no.
so, yeah, it really is. I don't know what it's doing to them, but I have so many programs for them out. If you've probably seen my studio, we do some
Mm.
slow down days. So I have some days where I teach them how to center themselves.
Yes, I did see that
Yeah,
recently. Yeah.
I actually took like a meditation course last year. So I have like two levels of it. So I can teach like a little bit for them, and I just tell them how to center themselves and how to quiet themselves down in their brains. It seems to be helping them every Saturday. And we journal together. So I tell them to write on their dance journal, and we just share like what we read out. Like, they read out to me like what they learn. So they just write anything under the sun, like, today I loved learning about my port de bras, or I learned that I wasn't supposed to point my feet like this. So it's really nice because they get to grasp ballet in a different way, and I enjoy it. I enjoy seeing my kids like that. But it is really difficult in the pandemic to keep their spirits
Yeah.
up, because I'm really doing my best to do that. So I really want to chat with them, and I really do my best to keep their interest. What's nice about now, though, is that I think they've also gotten a grasp of online class. So
Yeah.
I started to tell them, like, don't look into the camera anymore, learn how to memorize your ballet steps, and just, we need to know what they are now, so that if I tell you face your FSA or face crochet,
Mm.
they didn't have to watch me to do that. So that
Yeah.
was so important for me to get out in the start of the pandemic. And then yeah, that's how we went out, and then now I feel like they're getting a grasp of it, but it's going well, I would like to think.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What you were saying about not facing the camera or looking into the camera, I guess that's like for us when we'd be in front of the mirror, and then around exam time, our teacher would put the curtains across, and it would really throw you when you're younger, because you're like, oh, it was a true test of everything that you knew. But
Yeah.
yeah, I can imagine it would be tough. Yeah, especially when you're a lot younger. And I think you were talking about on Instagram, was it? About how there's not a lot of separation between like school and when everything's online and
Mhm.
they're at home. I think that was you. And yeah, I think that's really neat that you're helping them like meditate and journal and stuff. And yeah, because I didn't realize that you'd been in lockdown that whole time. I thought maybe you'd gone back into lockdown.
No, definitely different per place. I think there's a lot of paranoia in our country, probably because of just how the virus spread here, and we have not even
Yeah,
gone through our. I think we're still in our first wave. We're still in it, so it is something that's different, maybe from the other countries who are kind of going through their second already or their third. I don't know.
yeah. Here's hoping for some good news in 2021. Yeah, so I guess my final question would be, what advice would you give to other aspiring dancers?
Oh my gosh, deep question. Yeah, I know I was looking at this question when you sent it to me also. But I guess if let's start with whether or not you're going to go maybe pro or whether you're going to keep dance as a
Mm,
hobby. I
yeah.
just I think as a teacher I just want dancers to keep on dancing just for dancing's sake. I find that we overthink things too much, how sometimes we feel like we want to quit but we don't really want to quit. And there are parts of us that just hold on, but we know we love it. I would say just keep on going. When you feel like you just don't want to, then don't. But when you feel like you do, then do. But don't force yourself. And I guess it's just enjoy it. Enjoy everything that you're doing because you know you love it. Like you know for sure you love it because in the start you went into it because you enjoyed it for sure. And a lot of people do that, but they eventually lose their way because they feel like it's not enough or, they're looking for something else. Then maybe they should look at something else, but to stop dancing, maybe not. So it doesn't matter if it's ballet, hip hop, jazz, tap. As a teacher, just see now how important it is for people to just find their path, like in dancing. If it's not going to be ballet, I have seen some of my students get into other things and I love it because I can see their heart in it more than in ballet. But
Yeah.
because they had their ballet background and they had me to support them, they became better dancers.
Mm,
They would tell me how their ballet training helped so much and how much they loved having me as a teacher. And to me, that's just the biggest reward that you're happy. So that's my only advice to dancers to just, just continue pursuing it, even if you feel down right now. Find where you are, like more suited into or more maybe enjoying in.
yeah, taking that
And
pressure
yeah.
off yourself and going
Hmm.
back to why you started dancing and yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, because you love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's amazing. I'm really excited for everyone to hear this because I think there's going to be a lot of people that will take a lot away from this. So, yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story, I guess, and yeah, the pieces of wisdom that you've said throughout this. So, yeah, thank you so much again for coming on.
Thank you. No, thank you so much, Renee. I am so happy to be here and to be able to share this. I mean, it's my first time doing this, and I just hope everyone keeps on, dancing and gets inspiration from this through the years. So, yeah.
Well, that is all for our interview with Lina. I think she has the sweetest soul and is so inspiring. I'm so grateful that she was able to take time out of her busy schedule to chat, and I hope that you enjoyed listening to it. Take care, and as Lina said, keep dancing. And I will see you next week. See ya.